Also, I mean, if they want to keep to the pick composition, like I just played, maybe something with easier execution. Because
Sure.
that Willish Solbeck takes a lot of practice, and if you don't execute perfectly, like you just said, you just end up on the back foot, and a Willish just becomes like an anti-Bacchus leap god, which is, you don't want to be in that position.
And that, for me, I think, was the biggest issue, personally. I just think that wasn't Nifeng's game.
No.
He has a specific job on the Wheelish, and when it doesn't work out with the Sobek, like we said, Sobek is sort of that one-dimensional character. You're looking for the peel, and you're looking for the pluck. If that doesn't work out, well, we'll see you later, Crocodile. On the other hand, a Wheelish does have that sort of disruption. If you're not going to go for the aggressive pull off of the Sobek, you can neutralize what Bacchus does. In theory, we didn't see it in practice, and that's an issue.
I would love for Apoxing here, previously known as Bluefish from Season 1 World Championships. Very good ISIS player. He actually had a really good KDA. I can't remember exactly. It was something like 2.7, something like that. For being on a losing foot, that's actually a really good KDA. Maybe go for a Neja pick.
That would be interesting. I love the Naja play that we've seen in Season 3, just combining with the mid lane.
That is if they want to keep going for those aggressive pick compositions. I wouldn't do it against Panthera personally. The times we've seen Panthera lose, it's because they're losing team fights, not because they're getting picked out. It's probably the best team in the over now to actually manage and rotate people around where they need them.
Naja does bring a lot to the table outside of picks, though. With the Naja pick, you can also find them going for things like just the early game pressure, and then if a god like Zeus is picked, he's just not as useful with that change.
Yeah, we see OMG yet again opting to ban out the Thor, keeping adapting from doing what adapting does best. We see very similar bans again from Panthera. The Raijin goes out immediately, and Guan this time.
Yeah, very smart stuff. Same exact bans from last game coming out from both teams. So again, when it comes to the pick ban phase, I wasn't a huge fan. I liked the composition from OMG in theory, but in practice it didn't work out. But the bans I really enjoyed from OMG. I don't think there's anything to switch up. And this time around, again, Apollo going to be more that mid-game and allow him to help his team out just a little bit more.
A little bit better towards the mid-game. Still not the best mid-game Hunter, I would say.
Not quite on her, yeah.
However, you do have the rotations with his ultimate, which is essential here. But I don't like the fact that they keep giving away Janus. He's an extremely good god in the hands of Yammyn, and basically another SPL mid laner because of his ultimate, which means against a team like Panthera, again, the rotations are so on point and Janus just facilitates that entire process.
Apollo's going to be able to neutralize a little bit of that this time around, so what Panthera was doing, OMG is going to be able to emulate just a little bit. Coming up in this second round of picks for OMG, where they're going to, I wonder if they're going to couple the Apollo with their support or if they'll save that for later.
Again, though, Bacchus, Janus on the other side, you have to really think carefully here. I would love, yeah, Guan Yu could be actually in the support here.
Yep.
Very good against Bacchus. Ares also could be a really good pick against Bacchus as well. Just make sure he can't do whatever he wants to.
So the Guan pick's going to be excellent, and it's going to be followed up by the Soul. So that's likely a mid lane Soul. Yeah,
Soul in the mid lane against Janus. It's an okay matchup. Janus having a little bit better wave clear early game.
So Soul is interesting because now OMG, they've got this Apollo, they've got this Soul. They're looking, coming away from their strategy last time where they were looking for more fighting and more picks. Now they're looking just straight up for the towers.
Panthera looking at Odin, and the Odin is going to be very strong here against the Guan Yu. We've seen it time and time again in the SPL. Just locks the poor Guan in with his horsey in the ultimate there for Odin. Neither one of OMG can get out of Odin's ring, if I'm correct.
Exactly. Soul's going to have, everybody's really just going to have some issues. Again, with the Nemesis ban, so they don't want to see that hyper mobility coming out from adapting again.
Interesting enough, I mean, Nemesis could have been a good pick on the side of OMG here, just to shred the Odin as he leaps in and just turn on him instantly. That could have worked as a viable tactic. However, I feel like Isis here, or banning out the Odin would have been a better pick for OMG. I don't really agree with going with the Soul here. But, you know, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think I agree as well. Just Guan Yu gets really hurt by the Odin. The last ban of the game coming out from OMG. Keep in mind, Panthera banned out that Khepri, which we were looking for them to pick this time around. So OMG not going to have that good support. And then Fenrir banned out. So the exact same bans coming out from OMG. They know what they don't like to play against. And honestly, that's a good look.
We see iRaffer and Coach Yambe there on the screen discussing the picks and bans. What to do.
Having some fun with it too. You see the smiles coming out from Young May.
They're enjoying this. I mean, going 16-0, you're going to have a lot of momentum going into game 2. I think, they're gonna actually opt for the Humbats. We see a very similar combo from Panthera again.
Oh yeah, Hunbats one more time this time around. And again, really the only difference is the Odin. Last time we saw something different. OMG is gonna finish up their draft here. They need a support, questionably. Guan could wind up with the support, but they definitely need a jungle.
Yeah, biggest difference here on Panthera's side is they won't have the Guan Yu to keep the heals going after and during team fights, to make sure everyone is healthy and can keep going in. I would love to see this tier picked up, but we're probably not gonna see it.
So the tier gets out of the ring. Sun Wukong does, but by way of the ultimate, just sort of like tier. But both of these guys provide disruption.
Disruption, yeah.
So when Panthera comes in team fights, Sun Wukong's going to be able to knock multiple players up. Tier would have been able to find the fields, but the Serqet. So still looking for that aggression, looking for these individual picks.
Yeah, but this time a little bit easier to execute.
Oh yeah.
The Serqet ultimate is actually not a skill shot, really. It's really hard to miss it, unless you hit a minion or whatever. Panthera is going to look to play very similar. Sun Wukong, sure, he brings some disruption to the team composition, but he's going to have a hard time finding the disruption. I mean, who are you going to disrupt? You're going to disrupt the Odin and the Humbats inside the Odin ring. It doesn't really matter that much, and adapting, if he's fast enough, is just going to have the beast on anyway, while Sun Wukong runs around in the Fear No Evil, which might spell trouble for OMG.
Yeah, you know, honestly, game number one, the composition was fantastic in theory, but rough in practice. It just didn't wind up working out. This time, Zimp, I honestly am not a big fan of the lineup as far as what OMG has drafted, but maybe it's the turnaround. Sometimes it's just about executing your own picks successfully.
Sun Wukong, we've all seen how annoying Sun Wukong can be if he gets ahead with a blue stone. Just keep poking and poking. And there's no real sustain on the side of Panthera, I'd say, since OMG did get that Guan Yu picked away from him. So that poke together with the soul and just making sure your team is healthy with Guan Yu could potentially give OMG a slight advantage.
Exactly, that's what you're looking for. OMG is going to look for these longer engagements. As long as OMG can avoid dying in the Odin ring, they've got the chance. Odin's going to jump in, Odin's going to drop the cage, and everything's going to go to hell. But if the other team can deal with that, if OMG comes out on top after the Odin ring, they've got the shot with the sustain of the Guan Yu.
Yeah, I mean, again, we see again, I want to talk a little bit more about Dimi against here. Do you think actually has a chance of going toe-to-toe with Dimi and actually killing him this time?
I mean, we saw it in game number one. This time around, they've got a couple of different picks. You can see the solo laners. They're going to be battling it out on different characters. You see the Guan Yu this time on fightingj, actually. So we'll see the Sun Wukong in the short lane, and then Dimi will have the Odin. So with these two available, I think there's a chance Sun Wukong will go ahead and look for the poke continuously against Dimi, and we saw what happened last time around.
Yeah, there is no constant in the things like a game of Smite. It might be a factor that is feeling maybe himself a little bit now, and it's gonna try to go aggressive against Dimi. Again, I think that adapting is gonna look towards the solo lane to make sure Dimi is healthy, because that was honestly the only lane that OMG gave Panthera a little bit of run for the money. Dimi very close to dying there. If he actually hit the ultimate on that Bellona, it would have been a kill for
Standard starts coming out here for the guys as far as itemization is concerned. You can see the throwing daggers on both hunters. The mid laners going to rock the soul stones as well. And pretty much everything cut and dry for the players here. Dimi, going for the... I always love this, man. Not buying the teleport. You know it's going to be the teleport, but you don't buy it until you're back. What's that about?
I mean, 90-something+% of the time is going to be a teleport. However, if Panthera's coming in with this confidence, it might be a good time to, I want to say experiment, but maybe pull out some other tactics that you've been using before that actually worked out. It could be something like a blink.
Like we see some of the North American solo laners actually start level 1 with a Wrath or something different, and then at level 12 elect to go that teleport to allow them to traverse the map to different various objectives. So it depends on how this lane goes, and I think Dimi just keeping his options open.
Could be. I mean, he has 4 health pots. He should be fine, unless. But then again, a lot of poke. It could be that, he gets poked out, has to back, and just picked up that teleport anyway.
And, we were talking about the big picture, the team fights here, but as far as the individual lane is concerned, is going to go ahead and find the
get slowed.
elementals. But yeah, he's slowed a little bit. Some good poke coming out from The bird bomb finds him. This could be trouble, but Dimi not going to go for it. So half HP.
That passive from Wukong really showing how strong it is.
So this is what I was mentioning before. We brought up the Guan Yu with respect to the team fight, but not the lane. Early on in game number 1. Panthera was able to find lane dominance here, and there really wasn't anything OMG could do about it. Now, they've got the sustain from fightinj's Guan, and this could change things as you see how aggressive OMG's being.
Yeah, they completely flipped the table in the dual lane in terms of pushing. Guan Yu doing similar to iRaffer in a way where he would actually group up the minions, and then you have the golden bow actually hitting almost every single minion in the lane.
Beautiful ricochet coming out from emiltoo to take fightingj down to below half HP, but able to heal that up just a little bit. Dash gonna slow iRaffer, and just a little bit of poke. That's what OMG's looking for. Just poke, 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 poke.
Perfect. I love seeing OMG not seemingly on the outside at least affected by last game. As we see Dimi.
See you later.
He overextended there. Dimi just popped the shield. By that, you just need to either fly away in some direction you're hoping he's not going to go for.
And the left side going to be in some trouble as well. Adapting that level 5, but he doesn't need the ultimate. The slow is good enough. And fightingj going to fall down. Still not level 5 for the jungler, but 2 kills in quick succession coming out from Panthera. MM going to get locked in. Dimi pushes the opponent on his own tower. Half HP for both solo laners. A good knockup. And MM honestly winds up just dodging it out. And a good tower hit. Dimi still gets the kill. He lives by a sliver of HP. And 3 kills for Panthera.
What a deja vu this game is from the last one. Dimi again surviving with that low HP. Jesus, if you're MM now, you need to. That's just terrible for your mentality going into this lane again. That could have been a kill. That would have been a way of for OMG to actually just spiral ahead here.
Yeah, that one was. Oh man, that was just really rough. Admittedly, Maker now got a good lead. He was pushing that, but as soon as the minions come down the lane, nothing he can do. Maker wants to get aggressive up in the ultimate, looking to turn around, but as soon as look, he sees the player in the jungle, has to land down on the ground.
iRaffer can kill this. He's not level 5, so maybe
no 5,
not.
Don't intoxicate.
Gets the beast.
Maker's fine.
Gets the beast though.
Yeah, that's a good move. That's a good play.
I think maybe Apollo could have survived without popping the beast. He was a little bit scared because getting soloed by support doesn't really look that good for anyone. I think maybe nerves made him pop those beasts. I'm pretty sure he would have been fine there.
Yeah, a little bit rough, and now OMG going to group up as 3 to go ahead and clear out this jungle. We haven't seen much of Nifeng, but that's expected. He's on the Serqet. We'll see more of him a little bit later on.
I just want to mention again, that 1-on-1 between Dimi and MM. MM was level 4. If it was level 5, if he hit level 5 during those minions, Dimi most likely calculated that that's not going to be the case. Because if he actually had his ulti available, that would have been a kill 100% from him.
I need to see more. I need to see more out of this. I want MM to be on aggressive characters. I like the Sun Wukong choice. I think it's a good move in the right direction.
Absolutely.
And as long as OMG keeps just... You got to support what your team does, right? We used to see teams built around wonderful purification coming out from Yammyn. That's going to stop everything. And iRaffer shows up out of nowhere and takes Nifeng down to the ground. Well played by the support on Panthera to find the 4th kill for the EU squad.
You just can't seem to find any member of Panthera alone. You always have either adapting or iRaffer jumping onto you.
I mean,
or both.
That's the key with this. A lot of times you'll see teams that have 1 superstar surrounded by 4 role players. This is 5 superstars on a squad. And the reason they've been able to be so successful is that this is how they started. They didn't acquire these all-stars. They started pretty much just learning together through the Challenger Cup. Last year they won Worlds under the banner of Epsilon. Now they're here under their own brand, and they're still bringing it to the opponent. 3 players on 3 players here. There's the 4th as Apoxing joins the party. Guan Yu in some trouble. fightingj is absolutely obliterated. Still gonna hang on by a sliver of HP. Panthera doesn't hard commit. And there's Dimi coming from around the corner. MM's gonna dive him. There's the ultimate from the monkey. Going for the hit, aggressive. Jinglebang's gonna miss. Not gonna find it. And now MM's surrounded. Batz gets him. Dimi's gonna follow up as well. MM half HP, not able to find it. And Serqet shows up. This could be a kill for OMG. But the aggression from Panthera, putting the more healthy players in the front and allowing OMG to just walk away.
I think MM should have walked into the blue buff area so he could actually ulti over the wall. He was a little bit too far away and then misses the Jinglebang. He didn't really play that as good as he could have. That could have been easily a kill onto Dimi and then regroup, maybe find another kill, take some buffs perhaps. Ends up just being 4-0 to Panthera.
That's so rough. Just looking at what OMG has here, it's easy to write them off, but Panthera, they're just so damn good. Honestly, I think OMG have a talented squad here, and again, I'm gonna go back to it. I want to see more out of I want to see him keep pushing this. I want to see him keep being this guy up in front, just powering down. I think he has the potential to put his team in the winner's seat. You can see player damage, 2K.
Yeah.
He's leading the game, and there were no kills on his team.
No kills on his team. He's Wukong. He's going to do a lot of poke and get damage. As we see a pulse going out.
Yeah, so we've got adapting. He's got a little bit of an issue going on right now. But again, just sticking to the because if this series goes on, which of course it will, what other gods at the soul lane can allow to really push forward?
I would have loved to see a very aggressive Fenrir perhaps, or maybe him on the Odin, because that damage from the bird bomb is a lot of damage. And he seems to have a good understanding of the ins and outs of the gods he's actually playing against, because taking that fight in a cage and still hitting him, dodging that bird bomb, under the tower,
right,
was a really good play. I don't think a lot of players would have done that as effectively as he did, and he almost actually found a kill twice now onto Dimi, the Undying from Panthera, the world champion solo laner. If you're even though you didn't get the kills, I mean, sure, it was almost, and that doesn't really count for that much, but
yeah.
I mean, come on.
I mean, close holding counts in horseshoes and hand grenades, but it does give you a little bit of a morale boost, right? All of a sudden, you just, hey, this is possible. We can almost do, we might be able to pull this off as far as the solo kill is concerned. And, you know, coming that close when it's the top tier players is something that you absolutely have to take to the bank. And if you're a fan of OMG, that's who you want to put all of your chips on. You want to look at If I'm a coach, if I'm a player, if I'm a fan, I'm calling up right now, and I'm saying, hey, just keep doing it. This is what you're strong at. You know your strength. And the most important thing here, you can speak to this as an ex-player, the most important thing here is to not get discouraged. Know how talented you are and realize that, yes, this is tough. We're on the back foot, but we're still in it.
We mentioned right before, after game one, that was going to be the win condition for OMG, was the solo lane. He almost finds the kill. Right. I feel like his jungler is not helping him enough, though.
Well, I mean, as I said, with the Serqet, that's going to happen. Serqet's going to have to come on a little bit later on. I think you could look that earlier, but now it's really a little bit tough. You got to look towards the late game to really see what Serqet can do later on. But what you could do right now, up at the top, right above my head, there's a promo code that you can go ahead, promo.smitegame.com. Go ahead and claim whatever we're giving away, and it'll give you a lot of fun stuff to amplify your own gameplay. He's hoping for a giveaway of a couple more kills, and really, it's looking at that Serqet. That's what I want to see. As the game gets a little bit later, the Serqet will be more impactful. We saw it in the mid lane, but so did iRaffer.
Yeah, I feel like, sure, Serqet is very late game base centric, but her ultimate would have been enough to get the kills towards Dimi. Right. And I don't think Dimi would expect to gank at this point. He's been warding very, very well. However, there's been a few opportunities where there was no wards towards the dual lane, and still the jungler for OMG opts to go on the dual lane side.
So do you want to see more counter wards? Do you want to see more sentry wards coming out from OMG to really neutralize the vision and then go for it?
So wards are OP, right? If you just get to stay there for entire duration.
Yeah.
If you don't de-ward, that means you have the other team just gets full vision of you. It's almost like a map hack, you know? What can you do if the other guys see everything a jungler does?
Yeah.
Adapting does what it does best because he's almost always unseen, because the entire team is sentry warding for him, enabling him to actually be that force that snowballs all the other lanes.
I mean, wards win wars. You've heard this pretty much in all of your casual games, and it certainly applies here on the big stage. You can see OMG just slightly talking it over, trying to figure out what they could do a little bit better. Look at that. That's a keyboard.
I can imagine the comms right now going, you know, so close, 2 times in a row. Can I just get some help over here, guys?
Yeah, I mean, the comms really have to stay positive. Speaking to a number of players throughout the season and at LAN events like this, sometimes we have the players on stage as well. That's really the #1 thing that you hear, is that the second things get negative or toxic, that's really when things turn south. So talking to these OMG guys just a little bit, I think they've got a good place as far as competition is concerned, and I'm not really worried about that. I just want to see these guys really execute and come out on top. Panthera, on the other hand, quite a different story. You can see the admins are working their magic. There's Dan figuring out what to do with iRaffer. iRaffer's got a little bit of an issue. And then adapting. There he is. And he wears that hat almost every single time around. And when it comes down to it, these individuals that make up the team of Panthera, they're all just a little bit different, and that allows them to be so successful. Yeah,
emiltoo, known as the ranked troll in EU. Nobody really liked to play against or with emiltoo in ranked. He somehow just found you know, his team soulmate, I must say, iRaffer, and I think they're similar in some ways. playstyle-wise, but as a personality, I think they're very different, and I think that's what allows them to play so well. I've listened into like on their comms several times, and I know how much they give each other, you know, support, even if it's just a kill or if it's going bad. I know emiltoo is going to be the driving force of just like, you know, good job guys, just keep going. And obviously having 3 Swedish players who have easy communication and not that far away from each other is going to help as well in terms of synergy.
Right. Yeah, these guys, they've been playing together for a long time. As we mentioned, they came from the challenger scene all the way up into the Pro League and then wound up taking out the World Championship last year. So they're trying to defend their honor here in our DreamHack. Of course, this is our mid-split or our mid-season tournament. We've got our spring split that ends here at DreamHack Summer 16. And then the fall split will head towards the final at Worlds in Atlanta, Georgia, in the United States. Back into the game here, folks. 6.5 on the clock. Panthera leading by 4 kills, and those 4 kills have wound up to be just under 2,000 gold, 1,500. A little bit more precisely. And now Nifeng locked in the ring. Nifeng gonna get hit. The ultimate doesn't even come out. And Adapting finds another kill, 2 in total for the jungler. Panthera's got 5.
We didn't really catch what was going on there, but I think Nifeng used his third ability.
Ultimate's gonna hit Apoxing. That's trouble, but
good disperse though.
Wonderful disperse to avoid some of the damage. And I love that fightingj held onto the heel to wait for Soul to come out of there just to make sure it was actually useful. takes some poke, but he'll be under the tower.
He'll be on the tower. He's 2 levels behind now. It's going to be a rough spot for him. I don't think he can replicate what he just did, getting Dimi low. Dimi now getting some armor. The tower is not as strong anymore. I think during that engagement in the cage, he took 3 or 4 tower shots, which actually led to his HP being lower than I think maybe he thought he would get that. But yeah, it's looking rough again for OMG. And you know you're in a rough spot where the only criteria you have is like, let's just start with finding 1 kill. Because now there's 0 from game 1. If they don't get a single kill in 2 games, that's, I don't know how else to spell dominate.
Panthera very quickly takes out the red buff. I'll have to work on my spelling lessons. I had to think about that one for a minute. But Panthera just walks into OMG's jungle real quick and is able to take out the red buff. Pretty much no contest. And similar thing over there in the short lane. It becomes just a little bit longer as the first Rebel shows up and Dimi takes out a tier 1 tower, putting 500 gold in his team's pockets.
So Apoxing there on the left side, looking not that worried. I think by this point, Nifeng does not really want to go into Dimi and solo lane and gank him anymore. Now they're kind of falling back into like the mid/duo positions, trying to ward up, prevent the Gold Furies from snowballing even further. There's only a 3k lead, but it's at 8.5 minutes. So it's going to be very tough for them to actually do any fighting. They need to again find someone alone, and it's very hard to make that happen against Panthera, especially with awards.
Exactly. Nifeng here in game number 2. Similar story to game number 1, just not really finding his rhythm or really able to commit to the things that his pick really dictates that he should commit to. Different story for Apoxing though. We've seen the Doom Worm come out and it's been relatively successful. Very low deaths coming out from the mid laner, but I think the story is in the graph on the left-hand side of your screen. You're talking a lot about the counter wards coming out from Panthera. I don't think they're counter wards because there's only been 4 in total coming out from OMG.
Yeah, we see also Maker actually keeping up the farm with emiltoo. If you look at the goal here, almost 5k with emiltoo's 5,050, whatever. It's very, very close, and he's the only player on OMG side actually keeping up.
Yeah, I think it might change, though. The Gold Fury already half HP just by 2 players. iRaffer shows up. There's the Fino. We're able to get everybody from OMG away from the target, and this was less about the objective and more about the team fight. Maker very low. emiltoo drops the ultimate. Maker's not going to get it out alive. And now trouble for Lido. Here comes MM. Ultimate's dropped, and he's going to find it over the wall, but the rest of Panthera just waiting to meet the Monkey King. No follow-up coming out from MM, and Panthera in total will walk away unscathed.
We see just how good Odin is against the Guan just stopping his ultimate right in his tracks, just hitting that wall without hitting anyone.
Big win though, if you want to look for the silver lining, all of the important relics are going to be down. Batz and Janus, the only one with the beads left, so Yi could definitely get in some trouble. emiltoo was low before, doesn't have the luxury of the purification this time around.
Another engagement here.
And there's going to be a kill for Nifeng. OMG finds it on the board. Yammyn takes a spill. The first player to drop to China, but Dimi answers back immediately. Apoxing gets taken out by the Odin.
So OMG has 1 kill on the board, which is, you know, infinitely more than they had before.
That's true. Good job.
Dimi with the blink, just timing the shield perfectly, it blinks in as it explodes. And if you don't take any damage with the shield, it does 25% more damage. And he just did exactly that, just blew up Apoxing. He had no chance of reaction whatsoever there.
Yeah, wonderful play coming out from Dimi. But talk to me about momentum and how important it is, right? It's not something you can quantify. It's not something you can put together on a spreadsheet. But that one kill, turning that 0 into a 1, really means a lot for OMG, even if they're still down by 3K plus.
They bleed, right?
Yep.
I mean, that's all there is. Okay, we can actually find kills here, which means maybe they're going to be a bit more confident and actually execute better when there's engagements. Big thing here though, Gold Fury was not taken, however, it's about to.
Yeah, you can see the aggression coming out from Panthera now. emiltoo going to be starting it, iRaffer there as well. This is a cheeky play. What they're doing is they're trying to bounce the aggro back and forth. Apoxing in the mid lane by himself, finds a disperse, not a big deal, but it's all just a distraction. Gold Fury goes down, Panthera picks it up one more time. That's going to be the first Gold Fury of the game, and 11.5 on the clock. And 4,300 in the lead for Panthera.
The gold difference is huge, but I mean the XP difference is almost 6.5K at this point. We see almost a rerun of last game. Again, OMG on the back foot the entire game. They find a kill, sure, but at what cost?
Exactly. They lost their own mid laner after that. And then the lack of pressure in the mid lane because of Apoxing's death winds up going the way of the Gold Fury. It's all about the waterfall. It's all about the butterfly effect. That Apoxing death winds up losing pressure in the mid lane, and then you put 2 players there to push him out even more, and the Gold Fury goes down. Panthera find another objective. This time around, MM's got a little bit of the pressure. He's looking for Dimi right away. There's a couple of hits. The rest of OMG here as well. But the Yammyn portal!
Yeah, Yammyn just knowing exactly what's going on. Again, with the vision control.
Nifeng falls down, emiltoo can't find it. On the left-hand side, MM in some trouble. There's adapting, following it on up. The ultimate used. Monkey on monkey, emiltoo takes out for the double kill for the Hunter. All the while Apoxing takes out a mid lane tower. Love that play coming out from OMG. They know that they're going to lose the team fight, so instead they focus on the objectives. And Apoxing suffers for it as well. emiltoo and Dimi and adapting show up in the mid lane and put one in the ground. 3 dead on the side of OMG for now. And there's tier 1 towers looking like it's ready to fall.
Again, they thought they found Dimi on his own. Before you know it, there's a Janus portal and everyone's coming through. emiltoo's coming through, Yammyn's coming through with a lot of damage. It must be very discouraging for OMG trying to find those picks, but every single time there's someone there, and it's mainly attributed to the ward. As we see fightingj going down yet again in the Odin ring.
The dash away from Nifeng's going to be good, and so will the jump. So Panthera not going to get that one. Both games, we saw Thor, Susano, Nemesis, and Fenrir banned out, Zimstar. One of them's got to go and got to be replaced by a Janus ban. It's not Thor, it's not Susano. I think you get rid of that Nemesis ban. You get rid of that Nemesis ban, you replace it with a Janus ban, OMG, all of a sudden, look, 50 to 100% better.
I don't think any other team is going to give Yammyn Janus. We've seen the highlights, with the portals. He's just on point, knowing how and where he should help his team. Yeah, definitely Janus was a mistake, leaving him open. Yeah. They did their homework, but maybe not good enough.
Yeah, they did the adapting homework, but not the mid lane. Maker just going to take this fight to iRaffer. Gets belly flopped, but able to deal back equal poke. Here comes the rest of OMG. iRaffer makes an aggressive play. Nifeng not going to be able to find the pathing to get the support down. Keep in mind, Nifeng is 2 levels behind iRaffer's support.
Yeah, you see your world's MVP 0-1-4 right now. The only kill to OMG this tournament, perhaps.
Perhaps. Nifeng gets a good taunt onto Yammyn, looking for number 2, but doesn't find the Death Bane. Has to walk away. Apoxing gets a slow, but now fightingj in some trouble. There's the ultimate from the monkey. Ricochet not going to find the mark. So fightingj will live one more time. Tier 1 tower still available, so Panthera diving to tier 2 might be a little bit over-aggressive. But if OMG doesn't punish him for it, it's just plain old aggression. There's the ultimate out of iRaffer. Ring comes down around. Yammyn in some trouble. Sanctuary to avoid the damage. Nifeng trying to follow up, but the portal leads him to safety. Does not matter. Ultimates finish it up. 2 kills for the jungler, both on Yammyn. OMG one more time. Dimi takes out Nifeng. It's exactly what happened last time.
Yeah, and then finds the kill iRaffer too.
And
3 kills
kill
for OMG.
For the solo laner. So fightingj running into emiltoo, very low. And he might be in some trouble.
Here we go, 3 kills on OMG. Just as we were talking about the feeding of Yammyn, he gets joined by his teammate, iRaffer.
Yeah, again, and that's the difference between 1 kill to none kills, right? They bleed. We can find these kills. Apoxing now, they're going to take these aggressive plays because they know there's a possibility. giving chase, looking for the kill on emiltoo. Jingu Bang available. Slow, Jingu, and there's Dimi, locking him in the cage. Now in some trouble. fightingj on the outside though, just waiting, and as soon as Apoxing and fightingj show up, Panthera know they have to retreat.
OMG though, actually pushing back Panthera a little bit, surprisingly enough. They realized there's actually potential for OMG to actually hurt us, and while bleeding is all well and done, you know, you need to also get the kills.
Exactly. 3 kills to 13 here in just 16 minutes of play. In Panthera, well, they've gotten a couple of objectives, they've gotten a couple of towers, they've got a couple of players, and they've got a couple of wins as well. They're up 3,000, folks, or a little bit more than that, 6,000. So a little bit of trouble.
6,000 gold. As we see, the XP difference huge as well. 2 levels ahead on the side of Dimi, the solo laner, adapting 4 levels ahead of Serqet.
Baker immediately in the ultimate. He gets jumped on by an Odin, doesn't know what else is behind the curtain, so he immediately finds that chariot and walks away. But with that ultimate down, OMG does not have the global pressure. The Gold Fury already half down. fightingj is available, so is Maker, but without that chariot, it's going to be a little bit tough. from the backside finds a stun onto emiltoo. There's a slow immediately into the ultimate as finds himself half HP. fightingj half as well. Maker's going to start the Gold Fury now, and he's going to play it safe. OMG want it, but they just can't have it. Jump on from iRaffer, jump on from Dimi. Ultimate on the left side from adapting. MM's going to find the exit on the backside. Monkey's going to find the exit on the front side. emiltoo surrounded by 3. There's the hit from Maker. 1 for the Hunter as well. fightingj finds the safety outside, and Apoxing will be safe as well. Yammyn takes out adapting takes out fightingj, so what looked to be safety for OMG, what looked to be a good pick for OMG, toasted.
That was a long engagement there. I'm surprised we could keep up with that. You see, what's happening here is there's just very few ways of OMG actually dealing with the Gold Fury engagement from Panthera. You can see Maker there trying to kind of sneak it in during the team fight. Just ends up realizing there's no damage to do that, you know?
And that's really the key here. If you look at the draft coming out from OMG, Soul is a great mage. There's a lot of stuff that comes from Soul and what Soul's able to do, but objective secure is just not one of them. You have the giant hit from Yammyn, you've got the giant hit from iRaffer, even Bird Bomb's gonna do it on the way of Odin, and then adapting, of course, can just disrupt when the enemy's doing it. What does OMG do to stop a Gold Fury?
You need to try and steal it, perhaps, with the Soul ultimate.
Get a bunch of knockups with MM's Ox?
Yeah, exactly. But the thing is, though, Panthera, again, experienced enough not to give those kind of things away for free.
Love the beads of purification coming out from Maker there, right there. If Maker gets knocked up, he's dead. But by using the purification, as he sees iRaffer in the air, he's able to ultimate away and find safety on the right side of the map and actually look for the push. Nobody's on the right side, and between the 2 members of here from OMG, the teleport from Dimi is down. That's going to be a free tier 1 tower for OMG.
That's how you deal with the Gold Fury, you know? If you can't fight it, just push somewhere else. And just use the Apollo and the fact that he has a global ultimate.
Nifeng jumps in, there's the ring from Odin. Very low is the Gold Fury. Nifeng trying to find the last hit. Can't look for it. Panthera gets the gold, and Dimi drops down Nifeng. But the tier 2 tower is being pushed now. fightingj gets taken out by iRaffer. That's 17 in total for Panthera. But again, tier 2 tower going down. 1,500 for OMG. They've adapted the playstyle. They're not going to win these team fights. They do not have the tools in the draft to take out the Gold Fury, so instead they look for the structures.
Exactly. I mean, it's really smart of them realizing, you know, we can't actually fight this. What do? Just split push. To get the tier 2 tower, the tier 1 tower, you know, by this time, if Panthera can't translate the kills on OMG into objective control, that means those kills don't really give so much anymore. You know, you have, if you look at the stats, you have several kills from many members of OMG, and very smart play of OMG. However, there's still a big bridge to gap.
Yeah, there's a large gold differential. 7,000 gold going the way of Panthera, but I want you to look at something different on the scoreboard. Can you read me the numbers next to the 2 towers, Zimstar?
Yeah, they're equal. Yeah,
good plays coming out from OMG, adjusting the strategy, understanding that different tools mean different win cons. And for OMG, they're doing sort of exactly what they need to do. They've got to take out these structures in these clever, sort of cheeky ways because they're not going to win the head-on fights.
Let's just hope that OMG didn't realize this too late. I love the fact that they're actually adapting.
Apoxing in some trouble. Knock up, Sanctuary already used, he should be fine. fightingj, different story. There's the ultimate from adapting, and emiltoo takes them out. Guan Yu falls down. Yammyn in some trouble. Nifeng ults him. Gets the kill, and it spreads to iRaffer. 3-on-1 plus the ultimate. See you later. Double kill for the solo laner. China's there. 6 kills in total.
Somehow OMG actually finding those kills. 2 for 1 on OMG.
Isolated, and now it's a 2-on-2 over here.
emiltoo.
Cheeky jump from emiltoo. 3-on-1. emiltoo isolated. This is the turnaround for OMG. Nifeng gets another one. That's 3 in total for the jungler. OMG have the board presence. They're 4 alive versus 2. They're going to push up the left side right now. The towers are tied, but this is a difference. Now, OMG have more structures than Panthera.
Tier 2 are going to go down here just as I'm giving Panthera praise for being so well, welded together and making sure no one's isolated. That's exactly what they do here. OMG finding 3 picks in a row after Panthera overextends a little bit. And now we're going to see it push towards
left
the
lane.
Phoenix.
Left lane, pushing up. Maker's in trouble. This was a little bit too far up. Yammyn from a distance doesn't even get there. Adapting finds the damage first. Apoxing now on the retreat. 3 members of Panthera in the jungle, 1 on the left-hand side, and MM's gonna try to deal some sort of poke, but adapting just too eager, and that might be trouble. He's chased out. fightingj looking for the kill. Adapting finds the exit on the right-hand side. Slow, Taulo, and adapting going to fall. fightingj shuts down adapting, the first death for the jungler on the side of Panthera. Apoxing finds exit on the right-hand side. Nifeng gets poked, and with that vortex, that's gonna shut down China.
If only, okay, so Maker died, sure. Maybe that was entire, like you talked about before, butterfly effect, setting this up. If Maker was up there, this was a 4-on-5, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
And it translates as a kill for China. This is amazing play. Look at the gold differential. They have the gold lead in just a matter of 2 minutes.
21 minutes, this was a 7,000 gold game. Now teams are separated by 3,600. Fantastic performance by OMG, understanding what Panthera is doing, adapting their strategy, and able to turn things around at least for now. OMG, they pushed up the left-hand side. They've gotten a couple of kills. They bleed just like us. We need to find that. They've got the confidence, and they're in the game. 3K at 22 minutes. This is a tight one.
During the game, Serqet is going towards that late game. You don't want Serqet one-shotting your backline either. And Apollo getting huge. If you look at his gold here, he's actually ahead of emiltoo.
And that's what we were saying, specifically about the Serqet. I mean, sure, 4 levels behind. Not a positive. But the later the game goes, the more the Serqet gets her feet out from underneath her, that's really where Serqet's able to shine. Finding these late game picks, not the early game picks. Serqet doesn't really exist at level 3.
No.
Level 15, quite a different book.
Exactly, and if you're heading into even later on, level 15, sure, by the time you're level 20, it's going to be a huge difference.
fightingj is going to be locked up, but really it's just defensive. up in the ultimate. Panthera does a great job. 5-man invade on the right side of the map. iRaffer not in trouble, though it looks like it. Surrounded by blue jerseys. gonna get stunned. The exit is shut down. Can't find it, but he gets healed up by the Guan Yu. There's the ultimate adapting.
Dimi
That's
low.
gonna be a good play. Maker's low, but so is Dimi. Adapting's low. Everybody in general, but fightingj falls, and with the Guan Yu down, the sustain is not there. Apoxing gonna pop the Sanctuary, and this is Panthera's tier 2 tower to take.
What a reaction from Apoxing. Hitting the Sanctuary just in time to not die. They're gonna lose the tower for it, but maybe this won't translate into a Fire Giant, hopefully.
They're pinging it. OMG know that the Fire Giant is at least on the menu. Does Panthera want to order? That's a different story. Doesn't look like it. Panthera's a little bit too low. Adapting gonna show up. played it safe. He's gonna look for the monkey. Jingu Bang is on top. The stun, not gonna find it. Jumping over the walls, the jungler. But secures his blue buff. And it's a good look for OMG.
At least he delayed adapting a little bit there when he tried to back. This might translate into a Gold Fury for OMG, as they just saw him backing with low HP. And Apollo has enough damage now with Soul to get it down fast.
Yammyn sees it, half HP for the objective already. Yammyn's gonna look for the steal.
It's OMG.
Showing up, looking for the vortex, can't find it. OMG takes the Gold Fury. Dimi jumps in, takes Maker down very low. Ultimate gonna take too long, and Yammyn gets the kill, but the Gold Fury goes the way of, oh my God. Team separated by 4,000 gold.
Such a close call there. If Maker got out with that Apollo ultimate, then OMG is looking in a very good spot. However, now they're gonna have to defend this left tower. Soul is gonna come with the wave clear. They don't gonna go down then.
Don't defend this left tower, defend the Phoenix. fightingj separating himself from the opposition. Doesn't want to dive too far deep, understanding how important he is. He's 1-6-2, but still, the Guan Yu can provide so much for this team fight.
Good poke there by Soul. He's gonna try to clear these small minions coming in. most likely going to use his ultimate for the next wave coming in too.
This is a huge moment for OMG. If they can pull off this defensive set, Panthera will have to take a step back. But MM knocked up, knocked down. emiltoo gets one onto the solo laner. Nifeng jumps out of the ring. Apoxing in some trouble as well.
Dotted.
But Yammyn dotted very low. He's going to survive for now. But that's the defensive set OMG needed. They provide enough damage. They push out. They lose MM. But that's a solo laner. That's almost the guy you're supposed to lose. The Phoenix stands tall. Maker going for the kill. Not going to find Yammyn. Circling around. The change to Apollo lets him just satellite ult. He sees exactly where the opposition is, knows they're not going for anything cheeky, and all the information that OMG have allow them to play it a little bit more safe.
Yeah, I was worried it was going to go in there, then I remembered this is not Eager 2014. So, as we see, OMG actually still about 7k differential, but as time progresses, golden XP becomes a non-factor.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, these guys are almost full build. OMG definitely still needs a little bit of gold. The experience definitely still very, very, very relevant. Yammyn actually has struggled this game. Well, he's got 3 deaths. I don't know if you call that struggling. But on the Janus, the most escapable god, even more so than Apollo, has had sort of the most deaths on his team. Why is Yammyn such a focal point for OMG?
I think Nifeng just finds it easy to pop this ultimate onto Yammyn, and then you have MM following it up with Jingle Bang and an ultimate into an Ox form. Just trying to get him down, because the dot is going to be there anyway, the true damage, right? So you just need to get him down a little bit more. We saw previously where his ultimate spread to iRaffer, and iRaffer died, and that was the main factor where they got 3 kills earlier. They got him back into the game.
iRaffer going to isolate MM on the right side, the rest of the OMG on the left-hand side. Ricochet from emiltoo not going to find a home.
So I would love to see Maker push up left lane here and get ready to hit that ultimate button as soon as something happens. But he's going to up to...
Half HP from one Vortex.
This is dangerous now, because Panthera, they realize this, right? They know what this means, and they're going to start Fire Giant immediately.
So the start is there, but they're just baiting it.
They're baiting, yeah.
Panthera, look at this. This is one of my favorite plays right here. Panthera pretending to shoot the Fire Giant. So the enemy sees the abilities going out, but their Fire Giant isn't actually triggered. So when OMG get ready to fight, trouble.
Maker, unfazed by this Fire Giant, actually pushing up left lane.
He understands that this is all sort of just a gameplay. MM knocked up. There's the Fear No Evil. It's all for the solo lane, though. Can he find the ultimate? He cannot. So Yammyn gets the kill, and the ult's still available for MM. That is a rough look. Maker still on the left-hand side, pushing that up. Might be able to find the Phoenix, depending on how long Panthera takes. But this Fire Giant, 75% HP already. Nifeng lurking in the shadows, waiting for that one up there. fightingj shows his face. Everybody from Panthera pulls off. This is just giving more time for the Apollo to join the fight.
Yeah, about 50% HP. We're going to see what happens here. Hopefully, it's going to get leashed. There we go. That's the win for OMG. If they get disengage here, hold off. As we see Dimi teleporting in. It might start again here, though.
Nifeng going to walk out on the right-hand side, and that's the perfect, exactly what you said. Stalling the game is what OMG needs.
Oh my god, what a burst from Sol.
And what a ring from Odin. It's going to lock fightingj in, but the ultimate from emiltoo just a little bit too strong. iRaffer very low, finds a portal, and Yammyn finds a kill. fightingj down, but adapting so low. iRaffer so low. So many almost for the squad of OMG. There's the blink up to Yammyn. Nifeng had other targets, but he goes through the mid-mage. The taunt's good. Couple of basics. Sanctuary is going to save the life of Yammyn for now. And plus the flow. One more hit. Portal, too good. And here comes iRaffer. Nifeng got to get out of there.
Okay, so again and again and again we see OMG actually just pushing Panthera back to grouping up for the Stellar Burst with Sol. I don't understand why they're grouping up so much. Again, a 4-on-5 that OMG is actually winning. What if MM was there? It was just a few seconds left. He used teleport, came into the team fight a little bit too late. If he was there on time, maybe teleported to the backside of a ward, that would have been trouble for Panthera.
Panthera gets their red buff stolen by Apoxing, and Apoxing looks like he's going to lose his life for it. Disperse is good, Sprint is better, but iRaffer's ultimate is the best. Apoxing one more time finds a death, 3 in total for the mid lane, as iRaffer, the support, finds his 3rd kill.
Yeah, this means now there's a 4-on-5 for Panthera instead. Oh, sorry, it's always been a 4-on-5. OMG can perhaps push this off anyway.
Yeah, a little bit rough. Panthera, mid lane, aggression, looking for the Phoenix and nothing else. MM take out the minions, but that's not what Panthera need. Dimi's gonna take the tower, fightingj gonna get knocked up. All of the basics focused on the Phoenix. Half HP already for the Firebird. Coming on down, big hit on fightingj, but not enough. Panthera have to wait for another wave.
And so they're missing the main clear here, which is Sol, obviously, which means that this most likely it's going to translate into a Phoenix.
Big
but
hit.
Huge crit.
emiltoo low. Huge crit coming out.
Guan
This time
ultimate.
around, the ultimate going the other way, adapting with a very smart play, separating
emiltoo?
himself.
Yeah.
Yammyn finds the kill, but takes out emiltoo. Yammyn's very low on the right-hand side. Adapting very low on the front side. Portal's down. finds it. One more hit is done, but he can't find the distance. No animals, no sun, no Jingle Bang. He's got to wait on the cooldowns.
3 seconds though.
There's the burn. There's the blink.
What a blink by adapting. Oh, but he still might go down here.
Too far.
Adapting is a little bit faster than I think. Yeah, there's the leap. He's out safe.
Ooh, still looking for it. Wants to play it dirty. Looking for. He'll just take this buff. No problem. No problem. He'll just take this buff.
Adapting, just tagging those back harpies to get the XP when his team is taking him down. This was an interesting fight. Panthera got the Phoenix. They got what they were looking for.
Yep. That's exactly what Panthera needed. They lost emiltoo, not a big deal. If emiltoo, adapting, and Yammyn fall, all of a sudden, that's a big deal. The defensive set from OMG this time around, not as successful as it was on the left side of the map. So the mid lane Phoenix does fall for our first Phoenix of the game.
A couple of times now, has died without using his ultimate. I just want to touch on this point. He's getting Bacchus leaped and then CC by adapting. He has no time to react to that CC. I would love to see him just pop his ultimate early. Just try to predict that they're gonna go for you and just try to blow you up. Use the ultimate and just wait. You can see everything from your cloud. You heal up a little bit. You just go down again. You have your clone doing, what the clone does. Hit for a little bit. And
what does the clone do?
Hit some people. They soak up. They're just like a body block,
Yeah.
Some autos here and there. But I would just love to see him stay alive a little bit longer in the team fights, because I do believe that OMG is team fighting a little bit better than Panthera right now.
Yeah, I mean, OMG have definitely, maybe it was just some of these teams don't play good in game one. Sometimes you need a little bit of a warm-up. I mean,
what a difference though, right? From game one?
This looks like a wildly different team. They're a little bit more cautious, a little bit more careful, they being OMG, and because of it, they've been able to capitalize and find some of their own wins. Just a hair over a half hour here, folks. Panthera leading by 3 times the amount of kills of OMG. But OMG, Nifeng takes out emiltoo. And there's the shell pop because they know that Panthera is coming on back.
using his ultimate. I don't really know why. That might have been a misclick, probably. He was full HP. There's no one to really go for. However,
I think it's the adaptation. Panthera, every single time OMG finds a kill, Panthera jumps on him 5-on-1. So, you wanted the prediction? There it is. It just didn't.
Yeah, it is predicted a little bit too early, maybe. Right. Maybe there was no vision available, or maybe we just panicked somewhat. Now it's actually going to be a 4-5 for OMG this time.
I love this play. OMG going to start the Fire Giant and force Panthera to bring it to them. 75% on the objective already. Adapting, 50%. Lurking on the right-hand side. Yammyn and everybody else on the top side. going to bring the fight to the opponent. Apoxing comes up. iRaffer half HP. Crit's coming out as well. There's the ring drop down by Dimi. Ultimate coming out from Yammyn. Adapting gets 1. Yammyn gets 2. very low finds a double knockup. And this fight's going the way of Panthera for now. But trying to do what he can on the backside. fightingj in some trouble himself. iRaffer, Dimi, Yammyn, adapting. Double kill for the jungler. And that's going to turn in 4 dead for OMG. And the Fire Giant going to Panthera.
Interesting. This time around, it's actually Panthera winning the 4-on-5 after being on the back foot with themselves being 5-on-4 before. They just find the excellent ultimate by adapting, does a lot of damage to everybody on the side of OMG, and gets the double kill for himself. He's 9-1-11 now, with emiltoo being 7-4-8.
This is rough. This could be the last sequence of the game. OMG really have to step up their game, and they really have to hit the defense hard here, but nobody's going to be alive. 10 seconds on everybody, plus for the rest of the characters. This is a free Phoenix on the right. The mid Phoenix is going to come up half HP, and this one should go down as well. The left Phoenix, if Panthera opt to go for it, will be a little bit tougher, but instead, going to slink back into the jungle and wait for a reset.
We talked about this before too, right? I mean, Panthera are very, very used to playing these late game team fights. OMG might be, they're still a little bit behind, but they're playing as if they were exactly equal. And I think that's what helped them to get to this position in the first place. But now maybe they found an excellent pick on emiltoo, and you could see really the experience they're shining through on the Fire Giant. They just went for the Fire Giant. Didn't really have time to react to, they actually engaged on us. What do we do now? We have they use a lot of cooldowns. I'm not talking ultimates, I'm just using normal abilities onto the Fire Giant. So when actually Panthera walked in there's nothing to use on anyone. So they lose the 4-on-5, which is very unfortunate. There should have been someone on zoning duty, perhaps together with fightingj. But yeah, now we just see them on the back foot again. Perhaps they can come back. one more time.
Yeah, you know, I'm with you as well. I think what has allowed OMG to be so competitive in the second game in comparison to the first one has been their ability to fight despite being down. A 3-4K gold lead in the mid to late game just isn't really all that much. And at this point in the game, the gold lead just doesn't mean anything. The Fire Giant, on the other hand, quite a different story.
So ultimate use, misses the entire wave, just hits iRaffer.
And there's the free Phoenix. Really no contest from OMG. The mid lane is half down, half power, pretty much half gone already. Nifeng in some trouble, gonna get slowed out, but no ring coming out from Dimi. That one off cooldown. There it is. It's gonna ring in 3. Immediately into the ultimate is emiltoo finds Maker. Emiltoo low though, looking for a kill, jumping in the air, and goes the other way, can't find it. Yammyn low, Nifeng left side, shut down. One more death for the mid laner. 4 in total as Nifeng finds his 5th kill.
emiltoo on the backline there, very, very low.
Everybody low. I mean, that's the thing. Emiltoo is playing very aggressive, but it's because MM and Apoxing are low. MM gonna get turned on. The stun is strong, and emiltoo takes him down. emiltoo's had a fantastic game. 9 kills in total, 8 assists, and only 4 drops.
Tried to find emiltoo there on the back, so he recognized he was low. He was gonna be dead anyway soon, so he just tried to find a kill before going down. This might mean the end of the game here for Panthera. 34-11. At least it's not 16-0 this time for China.
Exactly. Game number 1 certainly one-sided, I think is the polite way to say it. This time around, quite a different story. Panthera going to take down the Titan here. They're in the lead, 36 kills to 11, but China much, much more competitive in game 2.
GG. I mean, that game was actually a really entertaining game to watch.
Oh, yeah.
It really showed that China has the mechanical ability to challenge any European or North American team. Maybe it's just about, you know, the late game and some strategic management they have to deal with, but in terms of mechanics, wow, what a player some of them.
Yeah, I actually really wound up like it's funny because in game number 1, honestly, I just didn't like what I saw to Nifeng. I thought his execution wasn't as strong as it might have needed to be. And on the Serqet, the early game, I kind of had the same idea.
Yeah.
But we saw Nifeng. Honestly, Nifeng was the essential tool for OMG to really start getting into this game a little bit more.
Very much so. He was finding picks on emiltoo, he was finding picks on Yammyn, he's just disrupting the backline. And he's probably the top reason why they actually bounced back into this game in the first place. Excellent job by him to play. Didn't quite make it. You know, we're talking about the world champion team here, right? This is Panthera. This is not some, you know, low-tier team in the SPL. This is a very, very good team, and they actually managed to put up a fight.
This is one of the most important things I want to bring light to, though, is the structure damage. It is the structure damage here. You can see a lot of the structure damage coming out from OMG came a little bit earlier, and that's all because of Apoxing. You see, he also brings a lot of the player damage as well. Apoxing on this Soul was a very good pick. You noted how many times he was able to catch Panthera grouping up, because, I mean, so Panthera finds a couple of these wins, a couple of these kills, a couple of these team fights by grouping up and jumping on as a unit. So Apoxing takes advantage of that by using his abilities to separate his team from the enemy and just making sure that everybody in total gets hit. So Apoxing just spreading the wealth and letting everybody get in trouble. So OMG drops the second game here. They're down 2. And that means Panthera move on to the next one. Semifinals will be best of 5, so Panthera will have to try a little bit harder against the winner of Eager and Hungry for More. That's who we're going to see next. Zimstar. That one is a little bit interesting as well. Team Eager and Hunger for More are these guys on different sides of the pond. Eager, obviously, from North America. Hunger for More, a little bit different. We'll see how that one works out. But for now, this one is all about Panthera and OMG. Congratulations to Panthera. They move on, and we're going to have Adonis on the main stage talking to the victors.
Hello, I've got iRaffer here, the support and captain of the reigning world champions. First off, how does it feel to be back on the world stage?
Feels amazing, man. You know, participating in this awesome tournament. Like, I've always wanted to come to DreamHack, so to be a player there is even better.
So, did you have any idea of what OMG was going to be running here? How much preparation did you do for this team, or did you just come with kind of a general strategy?
I was hoping to see the Anubis. Quite disappointed they didn't bring it out, but it was still fun.
Yeah, that's Knight. Wrong. He was not here. He was not here. It's Bluefish. Who do you think is going to be your toughest competition in this match, though? Obviously, China. You know, they're a region who's still learning. Pretty good showing here in that second game, but who do you think is going to give you the most trouble moving forward?
I don't know. There's multiple teams that could cause problems. It depends how they turn up on the day. what momentum they have coming to them games. Like, say, for example, Eager Stomp, you know, I can't even remember the team. Hungry for more, is that it? But yeah, if they stomp them, you know, they're going to give us a really good game.
Okay, so let's talk about game one. Pretty dominating performance. What was the strategy heading into that game?
Just play normal. You know, we just came into the game, nothing prepared for them. We decided if we play a normal game, play how we do in scrims, it should be fine.
And then game two, what exactly went wrong? Because you guys, once again, we're starting off pretty good. I think 7-0. Yammyn drops the first kill for OMG, and then everything kind of snowballed out of your hands. What exactly was going on?
That was it. It snowballed out of my hands. As soon as it's out of there, it's over. But to give a serious answer, everyone was just feeling themselves. Everyone was making calls, people going for kills they shouldn't have, which wouldn't usually happen. It's just, as I said, because people are feeling themselves. And we managed to come back.
All right, final question for you before we get to a break now. What are your aspirations for this tournament? Are we looking at first, or what's going on?
I'd love to be in the finals, at least, but to win would be kind of expected, you know, being the world champions. But whether we turn up on the day, we'll have to see.
All right, thanks, iRaffer, and thank you guys. DreamHack Masters is going to be going on for 3 days. That was the first matchup, Panthera taking out OMG 2-0. We'll be back after a short break with Main Stage Mandy.